Thank you so much, Angela. Good morning.
Good morning.
I meant to bring a poem today to start this service, a beautiful nested poem about spring having the last laugh and defying the whole thought of death as it breaks through the ice with the roar of laughter. And I thought the same is true of spirit right now in the Easter season. It will always have the last laugh because it is always rising. It is here. And here we are, come together. Thank you for being here. I am Mary Jo tonight, and I'm here to welcome you on behalf of Reverend Barb Adams, our minister and spiritual director, the board of directors, and all of the Unity community. We're all here, and those watching us at home, making up the spiritual energy that is this safe and holy place. We come together to celebrate our unity, our oneness with, in, and through the one consciousness that we call God, the great love, the only presence that's truly here, the eternal spring. We especially would like to welcome our new visitors today. Is there anybody here for the first time? Well, welcome. It's nice to have you here. We have an usher who's going to bring you a packet. Oh, you're all set? That's super. Thank you. There is a little blue card inside I hope you'll take the time to respond to. Thank you. Let's just get still now and have our opening prayer. As we become still, we turn to the God within. Dearest Creator, Source, I am. We open our minds and hearts to you now as we turn our attention away from external conditions and appearances and joyously seek your presence within. We know that where two or more are gathered, power and love are present in your name. We come for peace. We come for joy. We come for the affirmation of our oneness with you and with all creation. Thank you. Thank you, Source, for each other, in whom and with whom we recognize our Christ self. Thank you for the natural world, art, music, movement, poetry, spiritual teachers, all the many portals through which our soul is awakened and reminded. We are here because of the inevitable longing in the hearts of all humanity to be home. And we enfold everyone in this present moment of grace. Amen. We have a very special occasion this morning to welcome and install 2 new members to Unity Rochester Spiritual Center. So I'll call up Reverend Barb to do that now. Well, Barb asked me if I wanted to say a few things. I was looking up in some of the sources that I use for guidance, how do we trust a spiritual teacher? And I was applying that to a spiritual center. And this is a place of peacefulness, of love, of not coercion or control, but a welcome for all. And I am so grateful that the 2 women who are joining today are becoming part of this community, where the emphasis isn't on a dogma you have to learn, rituals you have to perform, a way you have to dress or recite, but my experience has been everything here gives us guidance to turn to the true teacher, to that still, silent place within, where we actually can encounter that one presence. And it's wonderful that people make a commitment to be part of keeping this center open here in our community so the people who are attracted to this avenue have a place to come that's safe and supportive. So welcome to our 2 new members.
Thank you, Mary Jo. I'd like to call up, please, Gail Mastrella and Angela Sulzbach. If you'll come and stand over here. Both Gail and Angela bring much to add to the finely woven fabric of our spiritual community. Among the obvious, Angela has recently become a valued pianist and accompanist within our music group. Even though it's run a little loose is what she said to me. It's run a little loose, isn't it? I said, we're getting there. Hang on. It comes together. And I recently introduced Gail as an experienced vocalist who also gave a thumbs up to joining our happy little group here at Unity Rochester Spiritual Center. Gail was also the music director and vocalist for Dignity Integrity Worshiping Group. Let's welcome them both. I emailed both of them this week and I asked them if they would respond to 4 questions. And Gail, I did edit yours down just a little bit. See, I got you to smile, didn't I? So this is what Gail said in terms of her answering of the question, how did you find us? How did you find Unity Rochester Spiritual Center? I found Unity Rochester Spiritual Center 18 years ago through a friend with a book club. I didn't come to many services, maybe 1 or 2. I was at DI at the time. The next question. What were your first impressions when you arrived? My first impressions this time was that people were very friendly and welcoming. I felt comfortable in the sanctuary. The lessons are appropriately termed because they teach you how to live in love, not just of everyone, but also of myself. I have learned and grown more in the last 9 months than I have in my whole lifetime. Wow, Gail. Why have you decided to become a member of Unity Rochester Spiritual Center? I feel connected with the people I've met here and to everything that Unity believes in and stands for. I've never felt at home in a Catholic church. I do feel at home here at Unity. That's why I've decided to become a member. I'm committed to learning and growing here. Let's, Gail. Thank you, Gail. And Angela, how did you find us? Literally an internet search. That works for me, Angela. That's for a number of people here. I appreciate that. I have attended many churches, but as I grew spiritually, I stopped attending. I didn't know there was a place like Unity. When I found it, I decided to check it out. I was pleasantly surprised to learn about the Unity principles that are the core of Unity Rochester Spiritual Center. As I am on my path towards spiritual growth, I was in search of community of like-minded souls. She found us. What were your first impressions when you arrived? Barb immediately greeted us and was very welcoming. The building is very unique in that it is. When you walked in the sanctuary, it was very peaceful and filled with natural light. The lessons, they resonated with my soul. I have read and listened to a lot on A Course in Miracles, and am so happy to find a place where the lessons align with the course, and it is not about sin or shame. And why have you decided to become a member? I know I can grow, serve, and connect with others here. I want to be part of this community and its future. Wow. Thank you both. Thank you, Angela. So at this time, Mary Jo, if you could hand a packet and one of the flowers, or we can give those as they leave to our new members. I'd like to offer a prayer for our new members and then for our congregation. May we close our eyes. Angela and Gail, we welcome you with open hearts and open minds. You are here because you were called to be present. And as you become members, and as you have become members, know that not only will we welcome you again every time you walk in the door, but it is our desire that you share your gifts and your talents and your energy with our congregation so that we may continue to grow and may continue to be a blessing to all who walk through these doors. And to our congregation, it is you who have provided the love and the warmth and the welcoming and the joy. It is all of us who have reached out our arms to all who walk through our doors. May we continue to do so. May this be a place of love and peace and joy, and may this continue to be a place where all may be as God created. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And at this time, if you'll open your hymnals to I Behold the Christ in You, number 65, and join in singing with Aisha and Sarva. Oh my goodness, now where are we? We're going to have the prayer box brought up at this time. And Dawn is going to do that for us. Thank you, Dawn. Inside the prayer box are prayers of gratitude or request from anyone who wants to put a prayer in there. And our prayer chaplains faithfully
respond to those each week, as well as share them with Silent Unity, where they are attended to for 24 hours a day for 30 days. So it's a wonderful feeling to open our minds and hearts to knowing that good is evolving in our life, and there's people holding that for us. So thank you. And Dick tonight is going to read the daily word today.
You get 2 for the price of 1 today. I was only an English teacher. I don't know that word. Sorry. This is Sunday, March 22nd, and the word for today is wholeness. Wholeness is the unshakable, eternal truth of me. It is comforting to remember no matter what may happen to me in the world, I am always whole. Even during times of illness or insufficiency, my true nature is of divine wholeness. Worldly situations will always be in a state of flux, changing and shifting in ways I cannot control. I do what I can to tend to my health and other material needs, but I do not worry over things I cannot control. Instead, I rely upon my prayer life and other spiritual practices to claim my wholeness. This is the enduring truth of who I am, whole and complete, regardless of any outside circumstance or appearance. How liberating it is to know that I am secure in God and complete at all times, spiritually perfect and infinitely blessed. And from Paul's letter to the Colossians, chapter 2, verses 9 and 10, for in him the whole fullness of deity dwells bodily, and you have come to fullness in him, who is the head of every ruler and authority.
Thank you, Dick. And now let's join in the Lord's Prayer. Our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. And I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. And I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say that if you are discouraged and you're struggling just to make it through another day, you've gotta let it go. Just let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. she sings that song.
Thank you so much. Well, it's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker today, who's been with us for some time and has spoken before. DijanaWinter, over the last over 20 years, has become a dear friend to me and my Course in Miracles teacher. And I can say that she is one person who actually stops and gets still and touches base within before she responds to almost everything. And it's just such a beautiful inspiration and teacher. And I'm so grateful that she's with us and speaking for us and with us today. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you. I appreciate what you said. And I hope when I speak to you, I live up to it. My name is DijanaWinter. And before I begin, if you cannot hear me, I have been told that I tend to speak softly, and I'm trying to speak louder than I do. But if you cannot hear me, raise your hand, and I will begin to say, you can't hear me. Daryl? Help! Okay, can you hear me now? All right. Okay. So today I'm going to speak about the art of oneness, the spiritual art of oneness, the spirit of oneness. Sometimes I think about that word and I ask, what does it mean? What has it got to do with our daily lives? Johnny Coleman, who is a recognized teacher in unity, reminds us that what God is, you are. And Eric Butterworth, another unity teacher, tells us that divine, you are called into oneness. What does that mean? Believing ourselves to be separate and apart from God, we often, or usually, live our lives as anything other than the Christ nature we are. We get caught in stories about, I'm a victim of my past, I don't have or am good enough, I don't see others in a way that I would really like to see them. Some years ago, I had these images come to my mind, and it was an image of two pictures, two pieces of paper, and I'll show them to you. One was a blue page. Mary Jo knows this one. And one was a yellow page, okay? A yellow page and a blue page. What do you see? What color do you see? See. But I only have two pages, a yellow and a blue. I don't see the yellow or the blue, and yet they're both there. blue and the yellow pages represent, the blue page or the yellow page represents all of what God is. It represents what we are. It symbolizes the truth of being. It symbolizes unity. It symbolizes true life. It symbolizes soul, spirit, all of what God is. It also is where the belief that we're separate from God, or that's the blue page. The blue page symbolizes that we are separate and apart from God, that we are not what God is. And the green page, and Daryl, you can put up those three. The green page is simply what we see in the world. It represents illusion. It represents the stories that we live, that we experience, and believe to be the truth of what we are. When we live from that place and we hear you're one with God, you are the Christ, how do we integrate that? How do we understand what that means? Either I am this, or I'm this. You know, we're taught we cannot serve two masters. Well, the yellow page symbolizes what God is and what we are not, and where nothing else can ever be. And it represents the love that is always calling us into itself. And the blue page contains all of the beliefs and stories about what we are not. And the green page is a picture of what we believe ourselves to be. The consequences of accepting those as true can seem devastating at times. At the least, it can make us somewhat unhappy. And there is a way to understand, there is a way to come to terms with and accept that what we are while experiencing the body. This is not about deny the body. It's like to say deny the body is like saying, I can stand in front of a truck that's out of, has no brakes and is roaring down the hill, and I can say, I can stand in front of it. It can't help me because I'm not real. And that, as we know, is absurd. But we can know that even though something is occurring that feels as though it's doing me harm, or I'm aware that I'm doing someone else harm, I can step back and remember, no, what is really here and now is oneness with God. I'm of the belief that God wants us to remember what we are, know what we are, because forgetting what we are deprived of a lot of happiness and peace. The rest of what was going to say is not what I'm going to say now. I quit. Only because my ego gets in the way and says, who are you? But I'm going to share with you some of the things that have occurred to me over the years that have shown me that oneness of God is right, real, right now, and it becomes indisputable. And that position is possible for every single one of us. The first experience I'm going to share, and I'll just cut them short because I know.
You're fine.
Oh.
You're fine.
Okay. Voice from God. Some years ago, in the late 80s, the early 90s, I was sitting on my couch, and I began to get quiet and turned within, and I said, what does God want me to know? And the deeper I got into that silence, the more different things occurred, until suddenly I experienced myself, and I'm not crazy, as being out in the universe, sitting on a crescent moon. And I could feel the atmosphere up there, and I could feel what it was like to be there. Suddenly, over time, I began to notice what appeared to be a fabric around the universe. And there was this tiny hole. And on the other side of that hole was light. And it invited me into itself. And when I said yes, immediately I was lifted into it. And many, many things happened, and I'm not going to go into them all. I just want to make the point that there I was brought into the presence of what has no words. But as best I can, it was a presence of such grand majesty that it's beyond human understanding. That's here, right now. When it first happened to me, I didn't understand that. I thought, well, that's when I die. But I came to recognize and was shown that's what we are. We believe that we are the green page, but what we are is the yellow, all the time, no matter where we are or what we're doing. It held me in what I didn't understand was love, because it was nothing like what we know love to be. It was this exquisite sense of being held and cherished and known. It knew, I'll say, what we are. It saw what we are. This incredible, radiant innocence. And it just loved me, loved that. Love and what I came to, and again, it's what we are right now. As the experience went along, I came to experience myself as love, infinite love. And when it was over, I came to recognize that the love that I experienced to be was indistinct from the love that loved me. What loved me was what I am. And what I loved is what loved me. And I'm sharing this with you because it is the truth. I accept it as the truth of what each and every one of us is. So that when we talk about oneness, what we want to remember is that our oneness is in fact now. And our oneness involves a presence, a beingness that we are, that is impossible to understand as humans, but it is very possible to accept. And the more we accept it, the more we come to live in harmony with it. Another, oh, I made notes because I was afraid I would forget. Because to tell you the truth, it wasn't until these past nights that all of what happened over years came together for me. And it just was like, share it. And I came to see the connection between all these pieces. Again, years ago, I went hiking with a friend up in the New Hampshire mountains. And when we were there, we were hiking along a trail. It was sometime in May, I think, just the beginning of spring, and there was this tiny flower, tiny white flower along the side of the trail. And all of a sudden, I popped into a sense of exquisite joy. I experienced myself as one with the flower. And that joy was, how do I explain it? All that happened was that joy was being itself. That flower was not sitting there saying, I hope nobody steps on me. I hope there's enough food. I hope the rain doesn't wash me away. I hope an animal doesn't come along and do its business. You know, the kinds of thoughts that we have, right? It was just joy. And it was like it was looking up to the sun and just celebrating and being grateful. After a while, I came to understand that that joy was not the flower. That joy was showing me what I am, what we all are right now. Behind the image of a flower was reality. Behind, I might say, behind the cover of blue, the yellow existed. And it occurred to me that, and even more recently, that reminded of a line from the Course in Miracles, and it says, if you see your brother as a body, you don't see your brother. If I see you as bodies, I don't see you, because what you are is the infinite creation of God. You are the eternal light of love. You are Christ's nature, right here, right now. When I see myself as insufficient, insignificant, blah, 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 I'm not seeing, I'm not acknowledging, I'm not owning the truth of what I am. It takes trust. It takes a willingness to learn to accept the truth of what we are. But I tell you, it's true. You are something so much more than what we think we are. I think there's one more. One more. Years ago, I took a training called Avatar. A friend and I, when I was up in Massachusetts for some years, a friend and I, a group of us, would take all of these different trainings. And one day we were walking along the beach, and Missy said to me, you know what they're going to say when they read or you know what our tombstones are going to say. I said, no, I have no idea. She said, they almost got it. We study, we learn, we turn to this teaching and we turn to that teaching. It's not wrong to turn to any of these teachings. I've been there, done that. And they all have something to offer. But what I had to remember, that what's the key principle in all of them? And what does it matter whether or not I start to live from it or not? And it matters a lot. Because when I go on saying, well, I'm one with God, I am the Christ mind, and then live in total opposite of what that would give expression to, I'm living a lie. Jesus said, what did he say? It came and it went. When he was referring to what we refer to as mortal mind, duality, but the ego, mortal mind, he said, that is the lie. It is the lie and the liar. This is the lie and the liar because it tells us what is not true. When I live as the green page, I become the lie, and I become the liar. And every now and then I remind myself of that, and it really helps me to stand back and say, well, wait a minute. Particularly if I'm judging someone, I'm not seeing you as what you truly are. No, there is one more. Do I have time? I hope I'm not taking up too much of your time. Okay, thank you. Define. The last one is I did a training, and it taught me. It was about the power of our mind, and we were taught how to really what going within means, and how to become what we are. In different ways, the point to it. And one of the things that happened to me in the experience was after several days, I think it took something like 10 days, after several days, I was sitting in the room with a group of people, and all of a sudden, again, I popped out of my human mind. And it was as if there was this, I was looking down into, maybe I'll call it a glass bowl. I was looking down into and had within me everyone in the room, everything in the room, all the furniture, everything. And as I allowed that to expand, it became the house and the yard, the town, etc. And it was all within me. It was all within my mind. I was reminded, and this particular memory or reminder came only recently. At first, well, this part didn't come recently. At first, I eventually came to think, well, what this is showing me is, I wrote it down because I don't want to say it wrong. That what I was experiencing was recognizing that when we say we are one with it, no, that's not it. I'm sorry. It was showing me that
We are one mind, dreaming itself to be many, united in this experience of separation. United in this experience of separation as a result of dreaming ourselves to be, or the Son of God, you could say, dreaming itself to be many minds, or many forms and many minds, many mortal minds, experiencing themselves to be separate and apart from God. I think you referenced, no matter, though, what we ever believe or what we think, one way or another, truth is going to come to us. It's going to show us what we are. And when we're willing to accept it, miracles can happen. And a miracle is nothing more than the removal of what's not true in our minds and the revelation of what is, and therefore the green page becomes a joyful life, a peaceful life. And when we see or experience other than that, then what we can do is step back and remember, this is not I. This is not real, because it's not of God. And that what I am is the Christ mind. The other thing that I really came to understand was that, or what I was reminded of with that glass bowl experience, and that's what came to me just recently, was a reminder of when Christ said, I am in you, you are in me, and we are in God. I understood that if I reframed that, it would be saying, he was saying, the Christ I am, the Christ mind I am, is in the Christ mind you are. The Christ mind you are is in the Christ mind I am. And we, Christ's mind, are in God. So that our oneness, we share the dream, but we can awaken to the truth of what we are. I had a quote somewhere that I wanted to remember. I think Johnny Coleman said something like, well, I can't find it. I tried to follow the script, but anyway. Johnny Coleman said something like, there's nothing to be healed. There's nothing to be healed. We are, or maybe it's linked in with what the Course says, I don't know, somewhere, that there is nothing to be healed because we can never be broken. We can never be the pain and the suffering, the disease and the lack that we believe we are. We experience it and we deal with it. But what we're called to do is remember the truth of what we are. And so when it comes to a denial and an affirmation, it helps me, instead of naming the problem and denying the green page problem, focus on, and what I want in the world's terms, focus on what I just talked about. This is not reality because it's not of God. I am what God is my affirmation. What we ask for is what we receive. And when we ask from a place of acknowledgement of our Christ nature, acknowledgement of our Christ mind, then what we receive is in harmony with what we are. And it's changeless. It doesn't reverse into its opposite. One more thing, I'll sum up. God is love, and love creates. What is not love? I'll start over. God is love, and love creates. And what love creates is real. What is not real is not of God. There's a statement in A Course in Miracles that I remind myself of often. And right now, my mind is an absolute blank.
Only what is real exists.
That's one. Here it is. All right. Love is not learned. Its meaning lies within itself. Learning ends when you recognize all that love is not. You are love. I hope this helps. Okay.
Please join us in singing Be Thou My Vision, number 109. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart, not be all else to me, save that thou art. Thou art my food by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence I find. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I am with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, and I thy true Son. Thou in me dwelling, and I with thee one.
So we just do a meditation.
There's a reverb here, so you might want to go up on the platform.
Okay. Okay? All right. So we'll do a meditation Thank you. Just allow yourself to relax and to put all thoughts. Can you hear me? Allow yourself to relax and put all thoughts aside. Take some breaths and breathe with the intention of just moving into the silence, allowing yourself to sink deep within the very center of your truth. And as you breathe, ask your wisdom, and then listen to the answer. What is it that God wants to emerge as my life? Hold an intention that that answer stays with you. Now, when you're ready, begin to just move your body, move your hands, your feet, and allow yourself to come back into the presence of the room. Again, remembering your answer.
And we'll now have the prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you to our music leaders and to our signing leaders. And it is now time for our offering. So if you would like to hold your offering in your hand, and we'll recite our prayer together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. As your gifts are brought forward, I'm reminded of the promise in Luke that to one who gives generously will he receive generously. Pressed down, shaken together, and spilling over. I certainly feel like we received generously today. Thank you, Diana, and thank you to all who participated. Thank you. Before we begin the announcements on the slides, I would just like to remind you again of our annual meeting next Sunday at noon. Right after the service, there will be a nice luncheon in the multipurpose room with a love offering, and then we'll reconvene in here. You'll have an opportunity to hear a little bit about how the state of the church at this point, the center, and also to vote on our new candidates for the trustee positions, and just a good time to be together and renew our commitment. So, thank you. So, in our announcements, yeah, I love it.
So we've been kind of loose with the music program. That's going to come back at you a lot. Get used to it, girl. As we've been reforming and reorganizing, and we, the board and together, we have chosen Kathy Chivarelli to be our new music director. Kathy, would you please stand? And I already know that she cracks the whip. You'll be very happy, Angela. Thank you, Kathy.
And Daryl's wonderful meditation class continues on Tuesday evenings at 6. Our next Reiki date is April 19th. You can see how fortunate we are with our Reiki specialists right from our own community. Dory Diesenroth is offering a hybrid silent retreat at the Notre Dame Retreat House, which is in Canandaigua, from May 2nd to the 23rd. You can see she has a nice balance of silent time, group meditation, and discussion. So the numbers are there, and I believe they're in the newsletter too, if you're interested in this. Easter flowers. It was so nice coming in today and seeing the flowers that were here today. We invite everyone who would like to bring flowers for Easter Sunday to do so. And our choir has begun again. Anyone who would like to sing, they're rehearsing about 10 minutes after each service, after the prayer chaplains are done. So, yeah. So welcome. Excited to have the singers back. And as always, after we do our ring with the peace song, the prayer chaplains remain here in the sanctuary for anyone who would like to spend time with them. And the rest of us are asked to move out to do our socializing out there so that they have a sacred space here. So thank you. So let's make our circle for the peace prayer.